Beautiful. Okay, so the rating system helps me determine who is in control. Okay, who is in control. So again, you only have two choices, okay? You only have the bulls and the bears. That's it. So again, if the stock's falling, you would want to be short. If the stock's rallying, you would want to be long, right? Makes sense. So again, anytime you're looking at doing something, many times when people are taking trades and many times when people actually lose money in trades, it's actually because they're in the wrong direction. It's really just as simple as that. So if you can figure out the direction a stock's going to go, again, before it occurs, that's how you're going to make money, because you get in before the move happens. And usually I'm actually in things very, very early. So again, talking about gaps. Gaps happen in the market on a regular basis. However, some gaps are better than others. Some gaps are nothing gaps, and some gaps are very powerful displays of institutional money. The most important gaps in the market are gaps that signify a change in direction or a bigger move in the same direction. That's what we're seeing right now in the overall market. The market is having a larger move in the same direction. It's breaking out. Understanding which gaps are meaningful and which gaps are not meaningful in the market will help you to know what to do and when a change is occurring. That is how you will know when the power of money will flow to pay you. So again, nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down. And that's what people find very, very confusing about particularly reading the overall trend. And I'm not a person that buys pullbacks or shorts resistance, but I know a lot of traders do that. But the fact is that's a setup. That's not a strategy. And a lot of people that were waiting for a pullback in the market missed a lot of the bullish move that has occurred since the election or even before. Okay. So I'm trading momentum. Again, I'm trading the gap. I'm not trading pullbacks. I'm reading the footprints of institutional money and then I take the trade and I get in. And again, a lot of people they're just so confused about direction. Momentum is key. This is how you can risk $1,000 and make $2,000. Again, I'm not risking $3,000 to make $500. I don't think that's a good quality trade. It's a trade that I would not take. Even though, for example, that would be a trade that would be positive, I don't think that's worth the risk to reward. So usually when I'm day trading in my room, I'm looking for one good trade a day. And again, if I take 2 trades a day, I'm probably having a bad morning. So I probably take the first trade, take a stop, and have to do a retake in it. Ideally, you just want one good solid trade a day, and then you add size, and then boom, you're profitable. And it's about the consistency. It's about the wins. Everybody that's ever traded probably has made money in trades. People can make money in bad trades all the time. People can make money in dumb trades. You saw that with some of the Reddit stocks that were in the craze a couple of years ago that have just completely fallen off a cliff. It's not about that. It's about the fact that you need to have more winners and losers, because otherwise you're not going to have longevity in the industry. Like Foster was talking about earlier, both him and I have been trading for a long time. We have seen people, traders that we've known that are friends, and also people that have businesses like we both do, that have come and gone and disappeared into the night. The fact that I've been trading now for 17 years says a lot. And again, you want to be able to have the staying power to be able to do this. Otherwise, you're refunding your account and blowing it up all the time and refunding it and blowing it up all the time. And not only does it take a toll on your finances, it takes a toll on your mental state. It takes a toll on your mental state so much that you don't even believe in yourself anymore or have the confidence, even if I call a good trade. You have to feel good about what you're doing and that it's worthwhile. And again, that you're putting your money into a good trade. And that's why I say I have 100% conviction. If I have 100% conviction it's going to work or it's not going to work. And if I don't think trade's going to work, then I don't want to do it, Anyways, if you learn how to read the footprints of big position players before the momentum occurs, you can take the position in the right direction and get out after the move happens for profit. But you have to understand how to trade with this side of power, and you need to know how to find it, which is the important piece. And understanding, why is this stock going to fall today? Or why is the market rallying? And this isn't about the fundamentals or reading earnings reports or any of that. I wouldn't have time. If I had to do all that stuff, I wouldn't have time to sleep. I'd be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go through stuff. All I'm seeing is the chart data. It's technical analysis. So you have to have live charts and live feed. Knowing how to read what institutional money looks like is essential to becoming a successful trader. And you can win big trading on this side of power. And again, a lot of people actually don't even use charts to trade. I know this from teaching people for a number of years. It's crazy. People trade blind. They will turn on the TV. They will listen to what someone says. Money managers do this because, again, I appear on TV with a lot of times with money managers, and they are saying things that sometimes I disagree with, or sometimes I do agree with, and they're not even looking at a chart. They don't know how to read a chart. They don't know what a gap is. So you will be far head and shoulders above tons and tons of people that are trading in the market, or even many of these money managers, if you understand what is really going on here, reading power money, reading the gap, and again, reading momentum. And you can use a system like mine, even if you want to do long-term swing trades or leaps, which are long-term options. Now, I'm not doing those, but you certainly could use my system for that. Again, because it's reading where something is going. I just showed you that Tesla. We were in that at 280. The stock's run up 150 points almost from there. So again, let's talk about institutional money. Becoming a successful trader and investor requires becoming a specialist in defining where the institutions are buying or selling a stock. Learning advanced technical analysis is required. So it's technical analysis, which is reading past price data to predict future price data. That's what technical analysis is, okay? And again, this comes from experience doing it, time in the seat, like I said. What does this mean? It means reading price action in charts. Comprehending how to read, define, and trade with this power will have a huge positive impact on your profitability as a trader. And anything you can do to keep you in that positive mindset will help you. That's why people shouldn't be so obsessed about size. Again, you can trade my system with 100 share lots or one contract. If you're showing a consistency of wins and greens, that's what you need to feel like, oh my God, this system really works. And then you can always add the size later. Elevate yourself in your trading and your profits to a higher level of consistency and success by learning how to read the footprints of institutions trading in the market, because it's very powerful. It is how you can more easily make money and have more wins, and then again have these absolutely huge, enormous wins where the stocks are flying. And again, looking at some of these trades that I just did a month ago is crazy today, because again, Netflix is well above 925. We did the 775 Netflix calls back on the 6th. Again, this was in November. This really wasn't expensive for the stock at this price point. It was at 775-ish. $10 for one, you could have bought 9. This was a huge trade. 520% return on investment, and you could have done one and made $5,200. So let's take a look at the chart here. This was on the 6th. Again, people really do love trading options with me, but here it was. So here we did it. See where we are. Snug as a bug. Closed here, gapped up, dropped, rallied, took off. Here's the momentum. Again, here's the momentum. Green, 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 and you're up. So again, take it over here, and you could have even held it longer than since I got out of it. And by the way, we are also in this today. We're in this too. So just some amazing examples here of institutional money. But again, this is another example like Tesla where it's buying. Okay, so you need conviction to trade. But again, where do you get that? You get that from understanding why. So as much as people love to make money and they want to just take trades and get ideas, people trade much, much better once they understand what to do. So again, I had my last class of the year over the weekend. People paid for the class on Friday. By Monday, they had already paid for the class in the trades that I called on Monday this week. That says a lot about the success of the system. Of course, everyone is risking different amounts, but that is what people need, that positive reinforcement to know that what they're doing works, and they can take that energy and move forward into something positive. I've talked to so many people in the years that have had the business now, which has been 13 years, and people just are living in the past trades that they took that they lost money, past classes that they paid for that they didn't learn anything out of, and then they paid a little bit of money for a class and then lost a ton of money in taking bad trades from people that they followed that didn't know what they were doing. Everybody does things like that when they start out. No one's born knowing how to trade, but you got to move past it. And you can't have the attitude that nothing ever works, that no class ever works, that no system ever works, that you're never going to make money, that you're never going to learn anything quality, and that you're never going to learn from anyone. If that's your attitude, you're just hurting yourself. You're holding yourself back. And again, we're getting into the end of the year. This is a good time when you're starting a new year fresh to let things go. I say have amnesia. have amnesia about everything you did from the past. So it's just amazing to me because, again, I take time talking to people that decide to become clients and then following up with them after the course to find out what they think and what's going on. And it's very interesting. Again, a lot of people just are shocked and surprised how well my system works, even though they signed up and paid for it, because they've done umpteen classes in the past and they've not gotten their money's worth out of it. Every class you probably ever took, even ones that you look back and see, you say that wasn't worth it, you probably took one little piece of information. And you also, even if you didn't, even if it was a total waste of time and money, you got that experience. And that can help propel you forward. You know, when I started out trading, I took one class, and then after that, I didn't learn how to make money. But I did learn about charts, and I did learn technical analysis, and I used that information to develop my own system over the course of 3 years. But it was a very hard road. There's only two ways to do it. You're either going to develop your own system where you need to bankroll yourself with a lot of cash, which I was able to do when I developed my system over years, but it was very stressful for me, okay? And I was working a full-time job at the same time, too. Or you pay someone to learn their system. That's it. That's the only two ways you can make it happen. And again, everybody goes through this process of the ups and downs. But you have to, be committed. And you have to be motivated to keep pushing forward. Because if your dream is to trade and you really want to do it, there's no reason for you to give up. And again, this is a good time of the year. This time of the year to move forward and really get somewhere, have a new attitude, start on a good foot, do a new class, do a new program, and again, change your attitude if you've been noticing that you've been feeling negative about trading or the market, and not to hold yourself back. So how do I do it? I use a 26-point rating system. It's a checklist, like I said. And when you think about it, you're like, oh my God, this totally makes sense. Look for the institutional money, play it with it. Trading momentum, that makes sense. Stocks fall fast, that makes sense. I mean, when you think about everything I've said today, it makes total sense, okay? A lot of traders want to do things and they think are tricky, that they're going to risk the farm and take some big one crazy trade and make all this kind of money. It's going to make all their losses back from the last 25 years. That's not realistic either, okay? So again, quality counts. Quality is important. And again, that's why people pay me to come and learn the information, because the information in the class is quality information along with the trades that I'm calling. And part of that takes commitment. And it also takes you using your brain. The best asset that you have is your mind and your brain. And again, all of this comes into part of it. We need to be healthy. We shouldn't trade if we're sick. If we don't feel good, or you were up late, or you were drinking the night before watching football or something like that, you need to be on your game. But what I always say, I can be perfect for 30 minutes a day. I can be perfect for 1 hour a day when I trade in the morning between 9:30 and 10:15 in the morning. It's challenging to trade all day long from 9:30 to 4, and that's why I don't do it, because you won't be as sharp, 5 hours into the day as you are in the morning, okay? So getting along here, what I'm saying, we were talking about gaps. Gaps are the most powerful show price action in a chart. Gaps have large moves. Gaps can move up or down. Some of the biggest momentum moves in a daily chart come from a gap. When I trade, I'm looking for and trading momentum. Then whether you have a small size or a large size, you will get a good risk to reward, because everyone has a different account size and you have to live within those parameters, okay? Any questions here as I'm going along? How's everybody doing? I don't see any questions. Are we good? Fasta is good. Perfect. So let's talk about fundamentals. Okay. Like I said, the Fed meeting's next Wednesday. You can have an opinion. I go on TV, I give my opinion. Somebody else gives their opinion. Turn on the CNBC today, someone gives their opinion. What does that mean? I mean, opinions change, it's different people. You have to look at what's actually reflected in the price, the live price right now. Again, like I said, you need live data feed, and it has to be good. You need a good internet. You could have the Fed come out and do exactly what everyone expects, and then, which is lower rates next week. But guess what? The market could fall off a cliff. Why? He could say something else. He could say, oh, we're lowering rates today, but we're going to slow down in the spring of 2025. Or he could say this thing, that thing, the other thing. So again, making decisions just based on economic data, stats, earnings. Very often you have an earnings report come out and it's fabulous, it's great. And the stock gaps down and falls off a cliff. So you can't even just match everything up like that. So that's why price is so amazing, because you can look at the price, you can see the price, you can say this is going to happen based on this, watch it happen live, quick and fast, and not waiting to see what everybody's going to think and their opinions on this, that, and the other thing. Okay? So again, like I was saying, institutional money is in control of the market and stocks at all times. Even if you think it's not, it is. A big flow of money going in a certain direction is what moves the market. Stocks creates momentum and sets the trend in charts. And sometimes I go against the trend. So I'm not always with the trend. Now today I am with the market. I'm not short the market, I'm long. But sometimes I am against the trend. When you are looking for institutional money or really reading the side of power in a stock, you want to be on the side of the power in order for you to make money trading. Institutional money is in charge of the market and stocks at all times. Okay, so what do you need to be successful? Number one, you need a good strategy. Number two, you need a mentor. You need someone you can do and follow. Somebody could go and ask questions after the fact. Why? How did you know, Melissa, that Tesla was going to go to 400 when it was at 350? How did you know this? How did you do that? Why did this work? Why didn't this work? Following someone in the room. Again, it helps tighten up the learning curve when you can trade and take live calls while you're learning through the process and going through and asking questions. Again, it helps to repeat the information. It's all about consistency. And so again, the reinforcement of the live room after the class or even before the class, like people who are signing up for the class in January that haven't done the class yet that are in the room, they're trading ahead of time, and then it's going to be reinforced in the class in January. You want to be consistent with results. You want to take your hard-earned money and you want to take good quality trades. I developed this system because I wanted to look for trades that had high odds. There is no 100%. And if anyone tells you that, that's crap, okay? You are going to have losers in any system at all. You're trying to have more winners than losers. So my system has any given week or month between a 70 and 80% win ratio. So you figure, okay, well, if I take 10 trades with Melissa, I figure about 7 to 8 are going to win and 2 to 3 are going to lose on average. So that's why I use stops. And those are good odds. There is no 100%. And again, while we are having, many big calls right now, many big trades right now, which helps cover the losers, you have to use stops and stay within and define your risk to keep you on a consistent path where you're moving up and again your account is growing instead of having to refund it and take losses and do all these kinds of crazy things where people are doing crazy trades. It also helps with your mindset, again, if you're more relaxed, if you're more consistent. So here was a day trade. We were talking about this earlier. We did it in the target. Stock closed here, gap down, open, dropped. Short it. Entry was 127.50, got out at 125.50. I thought this was a good trade. But I was laughing then because, again, it went all the way down. Now, I was in the put. It came all the way down. It fell. It almost got to 120, got to 120 and change. But I made $3,000 in a day trade in this, and this was a trade on margin, and I called it in the room. So I did it. I got in, got out fast, which is what I do every day. The put continued. And this did go to the dream target, or what I call the piggy target. Again, this is an example of a gap, and we shorted it. And again, institutional money did what? They dumped it. They sold it off in target. Okay? All you need is one good trade a day. And again, whether you do it as an option or as a day trade is up to you. It's the focus, the quality, getting up in the morning and rating the gap. I'm prepped and ready to go before the open. I know I like this or I like this or I don't like anything today. And maybe I don't want to trade that day. We also did AMD. This was also another one here that we did on the 30th, but we did this week too. Here was the trade, though, that I have in here. We shorted at 149.95, exited at 148.50. And again, stock closed here, gap down, open, dropped. Do. You also could have bought a put here, got the drop. Profit was $4,060 on the day trade. Again, you would have needed a margin account to do this trade. Same thing this week. We did a put this week in this, and we did a day trade this week in this. So this has been a really nice mover as well. Anyways, people come into my trading room every day, and they expect to win. That's their mindset. We're shocked when we have a trade that loses. While it happens sometimes, we've been having a very good year. That kind of environment is amazing to be in if you've never been in a room like that. People log in, expect me to call a good trade. I expect myself to call a good trade. I'm almost shocked if I call one that loses. I mean, again, I understand that's part of the business, but I've been doing this a very, very long time. And again, sometimes you look at it and you say, well, why didn't that work? Sometimes there isn't a reason why it works. You can overanalyze things to death. And I've stopped doing that a long time ago. I have my system, I place the trade, I look at the target, I do the setup, I get out when I'm up, and that's it. You can't obsess about things, even trades that lose. And again, that's why you have to stay within your stops. But the mindset I'm talking about, where you expect yourself to win every day, is where you want to be, and that's the environment of a trading room that you want to be in. A lot of people trade the market and they take trades with a 50-50 crapshoot attitude, or they think they're going to lose. They're actually worried that they're going to lose, and they take the trade anyways, and they risk their own money, and then they wonder why they're losing and don't have good results. That is crazy town. I don't know why. I don't even know how people deal with that stress, but people trade, and they do that all the time. So the mindset in my room is very unique and very different. People expect me to call good trades, and I expect myself to do the same. Someone's talking about a stock price is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there for that necessarily, Damon, or what point you're trying to make. Here's IBM. We did this IBM here. We did this on 10/24. Oh, shoot, I don't have the chart back long enough in here. I only have this month. But we did this on 10/24. Sorry, I don't have the chart. I only have through December here. But we actually shorted this at 219.10, added at 218.75, and got out at 216.40. You can pull this up yourself. We shorted this on the one particular day. And again, this was a nice move to the downside on that day. Now, again, you could have done a put if you didn't have a margin account to do this. And again, this is one of these ones where we're trading stocks that you know. You know the companies, you're familiar with them. We're not doing penny stocks. We're not doing low float stocks. We're not doing cheap stocks. We're doing stocks that can move $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 on a day, $10 on a day. You know, very, very important. Anyways, I was talking about also booking profits early, like, for example, in the target, and it kept going. I want to be out quick. Then I don't have to worry about data, the Fed, whatever. It's about chunking it out in the live room. Take the trade, get the move, get out. Take the trade, get the move, get out. You want to book it. Same thing with options. Same thing with options. While we hold trades and can get big moves in options, no one should be holding anything to a piggy target. That's how you lose. That's how you give back too much profits, and it's about just having the consistent wins. And my newsletter is a very active letter. I'm calling a lot of trades, and you can't go wrong booking profits. You can't lose when you're booking the money. And ultimately, it's about working smarter, not harder. So like I said, I trade in the morning, you know, and that is the most important time of the day. And then you can have the rest of the day to yourself. You can do whatever you want. So the idea of working 10, 12 hours, I did that in my previous career, my mortgage job, and I was exhausted. It was exhausting. So you get weekends off if you're a full-time trader. And again, my full-time trader position is really part-time hours while I check my options trades during the lunchtime period or before the close. I'm not sitting staring at my charts all day, unless for some reason it's a big day where I'm watching things. But it's a great career if you can make it work. 100% worth the effort, time, and money that you are willing to put into it. If, in fact, you're willing to put the commitment and the money and the time and the effort into it. Again, people are very often wishy-washy and back and forth with their commitment levels. And it could be because of experiences of the past, or it could be because they don't even know if they really want to do it. That's a decision that only you can decide. Do you want to do this or you don't want to do it? If you do, you got to be all in, because there's no half-assing it. You will lose and you won't be successful if you half-ass it. And again, most people lose that trade the market. Now, again, we're in a period now where the market's very bullish. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. And then all the people that think they know what they're doing, that think that they're brilliant, that are making money, are going to lose. And then they're going to wonder why. Because they didn't have a strategy that worked to begin with. Again, these times like this right now, for example, today where the market is power trending, do not last and are very unusual. And you have to know that. You have to be well-trained and well-versed and smart enough to understand that the time that we're in right now, you want to take advantage of, but that you have to be able to trade it under any market conditions. So Annie was talking about shorts. I love to short. Okay, panic comes in when a stock falls, which is why I prefer to short. So we were talking about learning a good strategy, following a mentor, and then focusing on one thing. So I don't trade a million different strategies. I'm not doing Forex, Bitcoin, this thing, that thing. I just trade gaps. If you become an expert in one thing, that is how you can be successful. That will help you be consistent. That will help you have less losses. Then you will become an expert in it, and you will know things that you don't even know. Like sometimes, like I'm telling you, some of the targets I've seen on some of these charts that weren't even numbers that were not even there. The experience of doing something over and over and over and over and over again for days and weeks and months and years, the same strategy, which is what I've been doing. You can't put a price on it. And a lot of traders jump around to too many things and they never get good at anything. And then they wonder why they don't make the money. So one of the cornerstones to everlasting trading success is really consistency. Without it, it's just so hard to stay in the market for any length of time. People leave, they come back, they lose, they take breaks to come back. You want to stay with it. You don't want to give up. You can do this. And again, I rate the gap, and that's how I'm determining it. That's how I know what stock to trade each day. That's how I know the direction to trade it. I'm always looking for the power of money. This is just, this is a good example, like I said, of a short, just like the AMD that I've recently, but this was a good one here recently we did that was an earnings one. But you can be a professional trader. It's not impossible. There's good systems out there that you can learn. Mine is one of them. But the checklist helps tell me what to look for in the price of the stock. I get up in the morning and I rate it and decide if I want to do it or not. I don't take any trades at the pre-market. I wait until the open to do the trade. And again, I've repeated this earlier about how power money is in charge and you really have to respect it. And it's actually a great thing. The amazing thing is that as negative as traders and analysts talk about the power money people, they're the reason that one individual can be successful in the market. And I'm sure there were people that exited the market that were long the last 2 days when the market fell, or there were people that shorted the market and that got tripped up today when we broke out and made new highs. People always say, oh, they did this, they did it. No. People weren't looking at the right things. If they weren't in the right direction, or if you were in a trade and it was down, you have to hold the conviction to stay with the trade, or you have too much risk on, or you didn't understand why it was there. I love every trade to go to the piggy target, and I love every trade to go the second that I take it, but that's not reality either. Sometimes I take a trade, sometimes I take an option, and it may take longer to go than I want. It may not go the day I do it. It may take a day or two. Okay? So again, I'm doing the weekly options. And again, this was the target. But it's all about the gaps. It's all about reading power money. It's all about seeing things clearly, and the power money moves. Now, I started talking about 2025 and setting the tone for 2025 and getting into that personal space where you are ready to develop yourself and really do something called level up. I'm sure you've heard this before, but this really applies to everything in our life, not just trading. But specifically, you will need to have this attitude to be successful trading. Why? There's too many people that are trading the market that want your money. When I take a trade, when I'm long the market, someone else is short, and they're losing and I'm winning. You see the difference? And different stocks, or I could talk about Target would be one of them too. Too many people trade in the fly and are not getting anywhere. They're just not interested in learning. They're not getting good. They're losing. Getting good is the only way you will ever make money. And you're not going to get good at something until you learn a good strategy. You're not going to get good if you're flying all over the place with a 50-50 crapshoot attitude. You only get conviction if you get good. Otherwise, you have no conviction. And again, you could be trading blind then with that, where you take a trade and you don't even know if it's going to work. Well, what are you doing? That's so insane. Do you understand? Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? You wouldn't tell your grandma to take a trade if you didn't think it was going to work, her last dollar in her savings account. You have to think about this like you care about the trades that you take, and you care about being successful, and you want to be successful, and you want to get somewhere with it. So anyways, my strategy is called the Golden Gaps. How to make money in the market. Trade a strategy and system that's profitable. Golden Gaps are a highly profitable strategy because they focus on large momentum to trade. What stocks do I trade? Stocks at gap and rate 20 points or more per the 26-point Golden Gap system. And when do I trade them? Early in the morning in the open when they set up and trigger. Again, I'm not getting in the pre-market. You must have a structure in place to make any money at all. And again, my checklist helps people stay consistent once they learn it and they apply it. So I rate the gap in the morning. This is what you learn in the class. You learn the 26 points. It's on the daily chart. It tells you what to trade for and what to look for every day. And I'm looking for the early confirmation, big move, precise entries, and again, I'm calling the trades in the room. If you're getting into the end of the year and you want to prep for 2025, like I said, now is a good time to put a plan of action in place. Trade gaps that rate. I'm looking for 20 points or more as the cutoff. So I don't have to have a perfect 26. I'm looking for 20 or more. The higher the gap, the better the quality gap. Then I'm looking to get the best entry, teach the entries in the class, and then you need a money management plan. How many trades are you going to take? How much you're going to risk per trade? Are you going to do day trades? Are you going to do options? All of this, you get organized and you write it down. And you write it in a notebook and you write it on the sheet. And I do think 2025 is going to be a big year. What do I mean? I think it's going to be a great year to trade. That doesn't mean I think the market's going to be bullish all year. Maybe it'll fall. It's going to have volatility. If anybody traded in 2016, 2017, 2018, when Trump was president back then, we had wild swings in the market, up and down. Trump would talk about tariffs, the market would fall off a cliff, then it would rally again. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on. There was a lot of opportunity then, and we're going to have it now, and we've already seen it. We've already seen it. It's in the market. It's in stocks. And someone was telling me, someone actually signed up for the newsletter last week, and he was doing futures. He said, you know what, I don't want to do futures anymore. Trading stocks is more fun. He's making more money. And that's the truth. People trade futures because they can open up a small account and they think it's easier. People only think that's easy because of the fact the market's been running up. And again, that may or may not last. The market is not easy to read and predict every day. And I don't trade the market every day, even though today we did. The fact is that stocks have large moves, and they're fun to trade because you get the big moves, and they have bigger moves than the market. And again, the market's been very pricey. Even to do as an option, the market is very, very pricey. This is me. I did a live class in September in New York. I don't have a live class planned for 2025 in New York City, so my class for January is online. But I met people. They came to New York City. They met me. It was a real experience for me, and it was a great experience for them. And so, you know, for me, I'd meet people all over the world. People flew to New York City and came and taught, and I taught my class, and it was a good experience, and I tried to be there for people, but I am a real person. I really live in Manhattan, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place, and I'm so happy and thrilled that I'm able to do this, that I pushed through, because when I started trading, I didn't know what I was doing. If I had quit, and if I had gave up, I wouldn't be where I'm at now in my life. So you are closer than you think that you can do this. It's just whether or not you have the commitment level that you really want to do it and want to get serious about it. But it's a great time of the year to learn and train. Again, the opportunity is there, and the time of the year to start out 2025 and learn something new and do something new is a great opportunity. And again, to change the energy with what you're doing to make it real and positive for you, because this is real and you can do it. This was a nice email I got from Gary. He did the class last weekend. Just Saturday and Sunday. And the cost of my class is $79.99, and he almost made back the cost of the class in these trades. And then he emailed me later. He did the AMD put, and he actually made $9,000, but I didn't plop that email in here. So it's a good success story, a recent success story from someone where people, they just are on and on and on about losing in classes and this thing. People need to think of the long range, learning something now that you can use and replicate for the rest of your life. And again, it's an investment. Taking a class like mine is an investment in you and yourself. This is a picture. Does anyone recognize this? I'm sure Fausto does. That's Bill Ackman. I saw him in a restaurant the other week. You know, it's just, you know, living in New York City where I live is just a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous environment for me. I live among billionaires, which is just incredible. And when you're looking to learn from people and follow people, you want to follow successful people. You do not want to follow losers. You do not want to follow people that don't know what they're doing. You do not want to follow, I hate to say it, but people that are poor. You want to follow people that are wealthy, successful, and brilliant. And you know what? Those are the people that are making it in the market. And today is a great day. It's an example. Those are the people that are buying the market today. You know what I mean? I mean, again, this institutional money is one. It's hedge funds. It's professional traders. It's big banks that come in and move the market. So if you think about it on a practical level, on a professional level, it totally makes sense. So empower yourself today to trade. If you want to do this, I teach my class. I teach it once a month. It's a full course on how to strategically pick and play stocks that are professional bearish gaps. So my class is in January 25th and 26th. I'm running a special through Sunday. You would sign up now. You can start trading now. You can start trading tomorrow if you want. It's 2 classes and 3 subscriptions. This is a Merry Christmas special. Normally it's $79.99. I'm doing a sale, $69.99, as long as you sign up by Sunday, December 15th, and then you would do the next class, which is in January, but you can start trading now. You can get the trades today. So this is a great special, and you would get the market report, trading room, and newsletter subscription with the 2 classes through the end of 2025. What else? Damon's talking about trading. Very good. How's everyone doing? I think I made it with time.
Yeah, Melissa, you did great, and I'm dying laughing that you're telling me to hang out with rich people. And there's a lot of, it's funny you say that, but I always tell everybody, like, the reason why I also leave New York is because it's the financial capital of the world, and like you said, you bump into people all the time. Like,
I
you
know.
learn from these people, you feed from them. I mean, I live in Long Island, I live in Manhasset. Some of the biggest traders in the world live in my town. They're in
Yeah.
my country club, so you're not going to beat them. You got to join them. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, we have a lot in common. That's why I love having you on, because sometimes we hear from a different perspective of someone that lives in an area, understands it. You don't get it. It's like us going to an expo for people who want to learn about being actors, and like, oh, you gotta live in Hollywood. That's what you got to do, and that's it's like, why? That's where most of them are. So you got to be part of that whole environment.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, happy holidays, Foster, if I don't talk to you. Have a
you
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Recording stopped.
you too, and thanks for having me.